Unless there's a change in attitude, Miss Sullivan is dismissed.
Arthur, and then what hope do we have for Helen?
No less than we had before. And then perhaps we can regain some quiet.
What you want me to do, Miss Kate? It's noontime and the breakfast dishes ain't been cleared.
Hush, Mom.
Helen ate from her own plate, with a spoon, all by herself. And she folded her napkin. The room's a wreck, but she folded her napkin. I'll be in my room, Mrs. Keller.
Don't be long now, Miss Annie. Lunch gonna be ready right away. Mm-hmm.
I have folded her napkin.
What are you reading?
Dr. Howe's account of his patient, Laura Bridgman. She was deaf, blind, and mute from the age of 2.
Did he succeed with her?
He did.
It's possible.
With patience, I suppose. Something they did not give me a certificate for at Perkins.
After this morning's lesson, the captain wants me to dismiss you, but I am going to insist that you remain.
Thank you.
Where is your family, Miss Annie?
My brother Jimmy was the last I had. He died 12 years ago.
I'm sorry,
I tried to protect him. I failed. It's no use trying to protect or speak for other people. Not really. The only hope is to teach them to do it for themselves. That's what I'm trying to do with Helen. What you demand of her now is all she'll ever be.
Step.
Captain?
And if what happened this morning wasn't enough, Helen can't stand to be near her. Things have gotten worse, and I want you to give her notice.
No.
Well, if you won't, I must.
Good evening, Captain. Mrs. Keller.
Miss Sullivan, I find that I am not satisfied with this... That is, this arrangement. Will you please take off your glasses? I find it very difficult to speak to you with them on.
Of course.
If you must, keep them on. Now, Miss Sullivan...
Please tell me, Captain, is the little house in the grove of trees being used for anything?
The garden house?
This is just what I am talking about. Miss Sullivan, if you expect to stay on here, there must be a change in your manner. And you must convince me that there's the slightest hope of teaching a child who flees from you like the plague. You could show some sympathy.
You're absolutely right, Captain. There's not the slightest possibility of teaching a child who runs away from me. It is hopeless here. And the sooner we realize that, the sooner we can get to a solution.
It is not hopeless. Helen could talk by the time she was 10 months old. Before this illness, she was such a good child.
Yes, she was an extraordinary child.
I believe that. But she's not that child anymore. I've seen pets behave better than she does, and it's your pity that's the cause of it.
I beg your pardon.
I'm afraid your love for Helen is a greater handicap to her than her blindness or her deafness.
Annie, before you came, we spoke of putting Helen in an asylum. Please don't give up.
Obviously, Miss Sullivan thinks it's hopeless.
Here! It's hopeless here. I'm only just beginning. Please let me show you. Please follow me. I believe I can only make progress with Helen if I have complete charge of her.
But you already have that.
No, I mean day and night. She must depend on me.
For what?
For everything. Her food, her clothes, her playtime, her sweets. All of these things are tools that I can use to reach her.
And how do you propose to do that when she runs away from you?
If she can run to you, I have no hope. Which is why I must live with her somewhere else. You can bring Helen here after a long carriage ride. She won't know where she is. And you can still see her every day, provided she does not know you're here.
How long would you keep her?
As long as it takes. I know this is the way. And, Captain, I cannot be rude to you if you're not around to interfere with me.
Am I to understand that if I say no to this, you will abandon your charge to an asylum?
An asylum is no place for Helen, Captain. Believe me, I know. I grew up in an asylum. In the state poorhouse, my brother and I, until it took his life. Our playroom was the dead house where they kept the bodies until they could dig the graves. It made me strong. But Helen is strong enough already. Please give me this chance. Give her this chance to save herself.
Miss Sullivan, do you like this child?
Do you?
Captain, with your permission.
I'll give you 2 weeks. You have 2 weeks to get the child to tolerate you.
Percy could stay here. He could run errands for you.
2 weeks is not enough.
2 weeks is what I am offering.
I'll take it.